Shutterstock Music.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome
Shutterstock Music.
to another episode of Black College Experience. I am one half of your Black College Experience team, Derek Thomas, here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And we have the founder of Black College Experience in Atlanta, Georgia, Keisha Kelly. What's going on, Kels?
Music.
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I'm sleepy, but I'm doing great. So, yes, indeed. A wonderful day of HBCU sports in the books. Another wonderful day, Kels. Let's start at the game you covered yesterday. Right. Right. Well, it looks like it just looks like the SEAC is going to be more competitive than we thought. Right. And just to talk about, like you said, the game was tied 10-10, and then Tuskegee shut out Clark's offense in the second half. The only scoring play that Clark had was a fumble recovery. So that's Tuskegee shooting itself in his foot. And then Tuskegee scored 14 points in the fourth quarter to tie the game and then take the lead and bring the game home for Coach Slater, 24-17. 55-yard pass from Peyton Ramsey, from Ahmad Daramis to Peyton Ramsey, and Husick Arns with the kick. Um, Tuskegee is going to have they're not going to win the SEAC easily like they did last couple of years, or when they have won it. They basically breezed through. But now other teams have been, recruiting well. They're coming for Tuskegee. No other than the Morehouse. Morehouse, they're 4-0. I'm sorry, 3-0, and 2-0 in the conference. So we're gonna talk about other games in the SEAC, but Kels, talk about the crowd and the excitement of the game. I mean, was it every? Because I've never been to a SEAC game before. I think we all are very petty on social media. Right. I mean, hopefully I'll get a chance to attend a SEAC game. But we want to go ahead and talk about your alma mater and the Pete Richardson Classic. All right. So like Kels posted, Black College Experience pulled double duty. Kels covered the game in Atlanta. I covered the Pete Richardson Classic here in Baton Rouge. That pitted the Southern University Jaguars versus the Langston University Lions. Langston University is a Division II NAIA school, but they are a strong football school. I think they went 10-0 last year, and then 1-1 in the playoffs to finish up with an 11-1 record. So they weren't afraid to come down here and play Southern. Um, and I guess you could say it was a kind of homecoming for a lot of people connected to this Langston University squad. The head coach is from New Orleans. The star defensive end was from Baton Rouge. The starting linebacker was from Hammond, and several other players from the New Orleans area. So they were coming home to try and make a statement, I guess. The game started out, Kells, as a real defensive struggle. I mean, I don't know if you were watching, had a chance to look at the play-by-play I was doing, but all I was doing was saying the Lions forced the Jags to punt. The Jags forced the Lions to punt. And I was like, are we going to get a first down? Well, your Jags struck first. They got on the scoreboard first. John Lampley found Trey Smith on a beautiful 24-yard pass. Smith had to twist around the catch, but it was beautiful. I wish I could have got a picture of it. It was an awesome play. And with Barrages with the extra point, put the Jags up 7-0. But the Lions came back. Char Harvin III scored on a 35-yard run, but they missed the extra point. So the game at that point was 7-6. Then Langston got on the board again. Tim Whitfield had a 1-yard run. Langston drive was set up by a long pass. I'm not going to try to pronounce the guy's name, Mudje. I can't pronounce it. He has a French name, wide receiver. When he caught the ball, he eluded several Southern tackles and got all the way down to the 1-yard line, and Tim Whitfield plunged it in. They again mixed the extra point. So now Langston is ahead 12-7. Your Jags will strike back. Kendall Callahan caught a 41-yard pass, Kills. And when I tell you, when he caught the pass, got down to I think about the 10 or the 15-yard line, he started running vertically to get in the end zone. He eluded tackles. He ran the width of the field to get that touchdown. I'm pretty sure he was tired, but he got that score. And then Langston University came back again. Michael Coaston, a name most Saints fans will remember. I don't know if he's kin to Michael Coaston from the Saints. Hauled in a 4-yard pass from Jalen Lowe. And that put the score at 19-18. The Lions would not score again. Southern would score 2 more times as Trey Smith caught a 45-yard touchdown pass from John Lampley. It was a beautiful pass because he battled 2 Lions that were all 3 of them going up juggling for the ball, and somehow Smith came down with the pass, and that put Jags up 26-18. And then Kendall Callahan scored again out of the wild Jag formation, new formation that you ought to run in kills, on a 4-yard run to put the game away 33-18. In the third quarter, the game was called due to a lighting delay. We had 2 lighting delays, and Langston University did not want to call the game. They felt like we have a whole quarter left. It's possible we could come back because they came down here to make a statement that Langston University football is for real. I had a chance to interview Coach Morgan after the game, and you could, if you want to listen to the interview, fans, you go check out our Black College Experience page, and you can see that he felt like he had a chance to potentially walk Southern down and leave Baton Rouge with a W. He does want to come back. He has swag ties. He actually played baseball for Southern, Kels. Then he transferred from Southern, played for 2 years at Jackson State. Then he transferred to Langston, played 2 years there, and he's been there ever since, settled in, worked his way up to becoming the head coach of Langston, and has built a pretty nice program there, Kels. It was. Yeah. All right. And as you know, forgive me for burning your battery. I was texting you, letting you know, like, y'all are struggling with Langston. And I was expecting Southern to be able to command or control Langston in the trenches. And it took a while for that Jaguar offensive line to, get a hold of things and kind of start manhandling and pressing down on Langston. And I think that's what happened in the third quarter because Southern scored back-to-back touchdowns. Southern was just getting ready to start a roll. Lampley had an up-and-down game. I mean, he was pressured. He tried to stay his best to stay in the pocket. But he probably should have took off and ran more than he did. But, he was able to lead his team to victory. I know Coach Morgan says he wants to come back and play Southern again. He also wants to challenge other schools in the SWAC and the MEAC because he wants to show everyone that, hey, even though we don't have as many scholarships as you are, but we can play with you. So he's looking to prove himself. And when you have a young coach like that that's confident, I mean, hey, I'm for it. He's coaching at HBCU. He's HBC born and bred. So I want him to be successful, Kels. Right. All right, we'll be right back in 31 seconds with more Black College Experience.
I already knew that I was going to go to college, from a young age. I definitely want to major in political science. After that, I'm going to get my law degree. Then I'm going to come back to Detroit, boost the economy, become the mayor or something, try to make the situation better for other people. I feel like I owe it to the city I'm determined. It's gonna happen. My name is Justin, and I am your dividend.
All right, we're back with more Black College Experience. Take it away, Kels.
You know, I wanna come down to this game where we talk about South Dakota State and Arkansas Pine Bluff.
I regret ever putting that game as a game that we picked. What was my mind?
I think, you know, you get into this. In this case, it's a money game. We know it's a money game, but at this time, it's just like all.
Yeah, that's a money game.
But they probably not much money.
At this time, you know, being that it's a money game, it's like all integrity is gone out. In any type of anything, like, you can't be proud. Like, nobody wants to take that kind of whooping. Nobody wants to take that kind of embarrassment. Like, that is the first time that they have put up that many points in the or since 1922.
Over 80 points back then too.
And so, you know, they were saying how the coach said he put in everybody on the roster. So everybody that was in a uniform got to play yesterday. Everybody.
But here's
how is that possible? Said he put in the fifth string running back, fifth string. I think he said fifth string, either wide receiver or running back. Fifth string. Fifth. How is that even possible? Like, within the first 30 minutes, they had removed their starters because he saw how it was going. So this game was more than lopsided. This was just like there was no matching, no way you could have evenly matched, no way, shape, form, or fashion, even looking at the rank. It was just a terrible thing. And it's like, you know, people were like, okay, well, Arkansas, you know, in this situation with Thomas, Coach Thomas, you know, he's in a bad situation. Yeah, but even if you're bad, like, that was just, it was an embarrassment, and I was hurt for them. So what do you think?
We have my line brother, Patrick Perry, on. PP, you give your thoughts first on this game, because I heard you say something. Talk to us about what do you think about this game.
When I saw it on the they came into this weekend ranked number 3 in FCS. So basically that means they're like a bottom tier FBS school. Of course, what is it? Listen, them usually schools like that usually fully fund their 63 scholarships that they can stretch out to 85. So that's how they can get to that many deep. But when I said that they were low class as far as you don't, pass the ball with under 2 minutes left with a 11 touchdown lead? No, I mean, look, Valley lost 71-0 last week, but they didn't even pass the ball in the third or fourth quarter. Jacksonville State, they just kept running, you know, so to run the clock out. And this coach was still passing in the fourth quarter.
Right, they had the last touchdown was a 76-yard pass. They had a 37-yard pass in the fourth quarter also, and a 66-yard pass in the third quarter. So
they can, they can say that we didn't try to, forget that. Y'all were trying to run up the score, man. No, y'all ain't sorry that you did it.
Well, this game was called the Beef Bowl. It definitely caused plenty of beef. A 90-6 victory like this is, like Kels, very embarrassing. Very, very embarrassing for Arkansas Pine Bluff. Very embarrassing for the SWAC. Very embarrassing for the head coach, Coach Thomas. This game also caused quite a bit of social media buzz. A former coach having something to say. Who's to blame? Is Arkansas Pine Bluff to blame for not being able to compete with South Dakota State? Or is South Dakota State's coach to blame because you could have started just playing the ball? I mean, get past you up that many points, you know, run a few plays, get some yards, and punt the ball, you know. But this is football, so this game didn't have any sportsmanship to me. And I read on HBCU Sports page that he wanted to apologize. Well, find time for you to want to apologize. Um, I just real feel bad for Arkansas Pine Bluff, the players' psyche, because this is one for the record books. A good thing of note, the kicker is the nephew of Adam Vinatieri. So, hey, maybe he might make it to the NFL. Who knows? Just saw his name on there. I was like, okay, he has to be kin to Adam Vinatieri, and that's his nephew. But Arkansas Pine Bluff is just gonna have to go back to the drawing board and try to get better for the next game. This is just a very, very demoralizing loss. Nothing much I can say more about it. Is no class, no sportsmanship. The way they continue to run the score up. I hope when they play an FBS school that they get the same thing done to them. Kels?
I do too. And, even now, we can even look at as well. We can look at Alabama State. Last week, Alabama State took on the Auburn Tigers, and it was a bad situation for them. They tried to hang into there, but it was a bad situation. Then they turn around and take another beating from Kennesaw. So they look at it as it's practice for them. They look at it as a scrimmage, and we look at it as we're playing up to the opponent, and they look at it as they're playing down to the opponent. But I said all the time, it's so funny because these fools think when they're playing us, it's just a scrimmage. But we know when they get in their conference, they gonna get the same way they trying to beat us down is the same way another team gonna beat them down. So that's fine if you want it. But again, you people talk about how they hate the money games and stuff. If you don't support your home team and you're not going to your home games, but you're traveling to support other cities and other schools at their games, then guess what? You're going to keep having money games. You got to support your home team in order to put money back there so you don't have to have money games.
Right. But here's the thing about the Kennesaw State game. That game ended in the third quarter also. I'm not sure if it was a lightning delay or if the coaches just decided, you know what, it's time to end this game. 62-13. You don't want to get nobody hurt. I mean, Alabama State scored 13 points in this game, so they were trying to battle, but Kennesaw was just too strong. Here's one thing. These schools are FCS also. So, what do we have to do as HBCUs, SWAC, MEAC, to compete with schools like this? I mean, it's very, very hard for us to compete with a school in our same division that can beat us like drums like this. I mean, we know the FBS teams can beat us, but a school in our same division, of course, I guess it depends on fund. Like PP said, South Dakota State is able to fully fund their scholarships. When can we get to that point? That's what I want to know. When can HBCUs get to that point to where we're feared, where we can beat up on an opponent like that, Kels and PP?
I think Prairie View is probably right now the closest at that because of the money they've been spending as far as investing in.
I'm about to get on the phone.
Yeah, investing into their entire program. So I think once all of us get on that same level as far as fully funding 63 scholarships and investing fully into coaching staff, then we can kind of go from there. I like the suggestion that somebody else said as far as pick the brains of the MEAC coaches, see what they're doing, as far as being able to compete with FBS schools.
Get some background noise.
Yeah. Our guest is on right now. PP, were you done with your statement?
Yeah, I'm through.
Okay. Well, Kels, our guest is on. You want to take a commercial break before you introduce our guest?
Yes.
All right. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and Kels is going to introduce our guest for this evening. We'll be right back in 25 seconds.
Are you interested in attending an historically black college or university? Hello, my name is Robert Mason.
I'm president and founder of the Common Black College application. Our application allows you to apply to any number of 44 historically black colleges and universities at the same time for only $35. So visit our website at www.commonblackcollegeapp.com to apply now. Thank you, and get educated.
All right, we're back with more Black College Experience. I think he hung up during a commercial break. Kels, can you text him?
Yeah, I can definitely text him and because I think he was thinking, when you took the break, I guess he didn't hear you.
Okay, he's back.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay.
Hey, how y'all doing?
We have our guest on. Kels, go ahead and introduce our guest for us.
Okay, so it seems that he's ahead of us, but of course, and I got a chance to meet this young man when I was in Virginia in the beginning of this year at the HBCU Bowl. I got a chance to meet him, and like any other team, basketball, baseball, football, soccer, softball, whatever it is, every team has that one person on the team that brings the energy. Every person has that one person that sets the standards. When they come in the room, they keep the energy, they motivate the team, they do whatever. Well, Denzel will be that guy. In the short amount of time that I watched him, he was the energy at the HBCU Bowl. So it's kind of like everybody was feeding off his energy. He was the person to keep the crowd going. So, of course, he is out of the CIAA. And, we don't get the CIAA often. He is from St. Augustine. So I'm not going to prolong it. I'm going to let him tell y'all his story.
What's going on, Denzel?
Nothing much. How you doing, Mr. Derek?
I'm doing all right. Man, welcome to Black College Experience, man.
Man, thank you. It's a blessing. I definitely appreciate it. This is utmost respect to you guys, and I appreciate it.
Most definitely. Now, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's tell everybody the Denzel Malone-Huff story. Let's start about your love for football and your journey to SAU.
Man, my love for football is different. It's more like a passion. It's more like a getaway for me. It's like a vacation. It's somewhere I can go and I can just enjoy myself. So football, I guess it kind of found me because I came up in a family where we were mostly basketball. So when I finally played football, it was more like, hey, I can really compete at this. I like doing it. Just as much as I like doing basketball. But as far as me finding St. Augustine, I want to say it found me first because initially I went to Stillman College and I went out there to walk on and play football. So I was like 2013, 2014. So I went out there. I walked on. I didn't play my first year. I just went to a couple football games. And then that alone, when I went to the game, I watched the game, and I just sat there in the stands, and I told myself, I just want to be a part of this. You feel me? I feel like I don't want to be the reason that the team is good. I just want to be like a tool in a tool belt. I just wanted to be something to be able to be used, and I just wanted to be a part of something. So with that being said, I ended up walking on in the spring 2014, and I ended up earning the spot. From there, I didn't look back. I played my freshman year there. I played my sophomore year there, and I excelled. I had pretty good stats. And then I also during my tenure at Stillman College, we had a situation where they shut down the football program at Stillman, which is located in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, where I was playing for the coach Teddy Keaton, who was a great guy, and my defensive coordinator, who was Coach Bruce Jackson. He was a great guy. He brought me along, taught me a lot of stuff about the game of football, which made me want to learn and play even more. So when I found out that they were shutting down the football program, it was a big commotion around the city and around the SIC. And it was more like I was torn in between the two of not knowing what to do. Did I want to join the Army? Because I was really in love with football. And when they took that away from me, I felt like I wasn't going to have another chance to be able to play again. So what had happened was, over that time, the little time period that they was shutting down the football program, I had ended up getting a message on Facebook from a guy named Tim Chavez, which is the head coach at St. Augustine University. And he was just like, we played against you your freshman year. I remember you. I'm sorry about the football program getting shut down. I want to give you and a couple other guys a chance to further your football and your schooling. And I was just like, I'm definitely for it. And with me, what made me so much on the decision to decide to come to St. Augustine because of the simple fact that the coach reached out to me. I was reaching out to schools like Alabama State, Alabama A&M. I just couldn't get Jacksonville University down in Alabama. I just really didn't get any kind of feedback that they was really interested in me coming to play. So I just wanted to go play where I was wanted at that point. So when he sent me my my message on Facebook, it was just more like he wanted me to come play for him. So I took advantage of that, and I was like, I'm gonna come play for you, coach, and I'm gonna give you all I got every day at practice, every day in the game, every day you see me, I'm gonna be the best me I could be for you. And when I got here, I say I got there 2015, 2016 year. That was my first year playing at St. Aug. When I got there, they welcomed me with open arms. I met a lot of good people. I made a lot of friends. The same way with Stillman College, I still have a couple guys that I played ball with there that I still keep in touch with. Guys who graduated and on into bigger, better things in their life. But I reach out to them a lot because I know, like, with me going through certain situations that I go through as far as the football, they kind of point me in the right directions and send me to the right people to talk to, not just for football, for life, like as far as mentoring. So as far as my journey to St. Aug, it was a very long process, and I appreciate everybody at St. Augustine that put in the work to help me further my education and to play football. And as far as football alone at St. Aug, oh man, before I got there, it was not. I'm not saying that I'm the reason that the team was good or the reason we was winning, but like you said, I'm big on energy, and I feel like positive things happen to positive people. So I always said that to the defense. We stay positive, even though adversity is gonna happen. We stay positive. Positive things are gonna come out of it. Some good is gonna come out of everything if you keep a positive mind state. And I've kept that mind state ever since I've left Gaston, Alabama, and I ran into Miss Kelly, Miss Keisha Kelly up at the All-Star game. I really didn't get a chance to talk to her like she was saying, but I could just tell that she was the type of person that would always that has your back and has your best interest. And with me, that was a big thing with me because of the simple fact, because coming up, I wasn't one of the bigger guys. I wasn't one of the fastest guys. But one thing I did do, I made sure I worked hard as I could, and I bust my tail every day for my coaches and for my team. And every day that I went to practice, I made it my objective to make sure that everybody had a sense of urgency about everything they done. If it was just running to the sideline, if it was doing one-on-ones, if it was just listening to the coaches, that I just wanted to set an example that when they see me doing it and the way that I did it, that they would be like, oh, he don't have a problem with doing it the right way. So I might as well fall in line. So with me, I was just one of the ones who wanted to go by example, not to try to show people up, but better yet, to show them that there's nothing wrong with doing it the way that the coach asked you to do it. It's all right. So with me, I was just coming to the school, and with my mindset, I was just coming with the mentality that I just want to, like I said, when I went to Stillman, I just want to be a part of something. So when I got here, it was just like they welcomed me with open arms. So I told the team the first day that I met them, I was like, this is who y'all got. Y'all got Denzel, Malone-Huff, and I promise y'all going to get me every day. I'm not going to change for nobody. Not going to change around for no coach, no players, no teachers or nothing. Every day you're going to see me, I'm going to be the same. And I feel as though that everybody that I came across and I met, they could say the same thing. Like, he's never changed. He's always been a high motor. He's always been happy. He's always been positive. And with me, I always felt like that if I stayed that way, opportunity is going to present itself, and I just have to take advantage of that. Speaking of that, my father is a preacher, and he's a minister. He preached today at my uncle's church in Gaston, Alabama, Bride of Christ. And his message was more like, it was like, it's all right to go through things. It's just you have a testimony, and it's more like you have to use your testimony to people who going through things that you going through or you've been through, and just to help them. Just because of the simple fact, everybody not as strong as you are. Everybody is not as weak as you are. Everybody don't think the same. So being that alone, having a testimony and keeping a positive spirit about it will help somebody who might not even know what you're going through.
Right.
So with me, that like it kind of fell full circle for me when I heard that message today, because I was just like, I know what, I do got a testimony, and the fact that I'm getting the opportunity to present my testimony to the world, to the radio station. I appreciate you guys, and being personal, I'm overwhelmed, and it seems like last night I couldn't even really sleep, man, because I was just so anxious and ready to have this conversation.
Well, how did it make you feel? Like you said, before you got recruited by St. Aug, you reached out to other schools. You know, did any of those schools respond to you?
I got in touch with a couple teams, Alabama State, but they was in the process of Coach Barlow was in the process of leaving and going to Virginia State, which he's excelling very well, and I commend him for that, winning championships and putting out the league. But I reached out to them. I reached out to Alabama A&M, and it was more like they were saying that they really I'm not saying that they didn't have a spot for me or they weren't interested. It was more or less they had the guys that they needed and the guys that they were banking on. So with me personally, I was just like, Coach, I'm willing to come battle for a spot every day. I promise you're gonna get the best out of me every day. I have high school coaches you can call and talk to. I'm pretty sure they talked to my high school coaches, but I guess they didn't find out what they really want. I guess they didn't get what they really wanted to get as far as information about me as an athlete or whatever the case may be. But when I reached out to those schools, it was more or less I had to keep reaching out to them. So for me, when Coach Chavis sent me that message and said he was interested in me and a couple other guys, it struck a light. Like, do you want to go where you want to go, or do you want to go where you want it? So it was one of those things where I wanted to go where I was wanted because I know I can make a difference either way.
So he said you all played against them. Do you remember the game you played against St. Augustine's?
Oh, I definitely do. That was my very first game of my career in college.
Do you remember?
I played late. I started out at cornerback that game. They had me playing against one of their best receivers. His last name is Turk. I want to say his first name is Jordan Daniels or something like that. He's a tall guy, like 6'5". He was a big guy. He was well known at St. Aug. He was like one of the top receivers there. He was number 12 at that time that they came down and played us. But I was looking for him because my coach was like, yeah, we're going to put you up against this big test because it's your first year out here. We know you. We know what kind of guy you are. We know you know how to accept adversity and go on to the next play with me playing the cornerback. So I was like, yeah, coach, I'm not running from no task. With me, I really liked it. So he was just like, I know you do. That's why I put you up against him. So Coach Teddy Keaton and Coach Bruce Jackson, they came together and they was like, yeah, man, we're going to make this work for you. I believe you can do this. And when they lined me up against the guy, I was like, God, this guy he's huge. He's huge. So I never really went up against no big receivers outside of probably about a 6'2" type of guy, but this guy was like 6'5", 6'6", and he was pretty solid. So it gave me a run for my money, but we came out with the W, and Coach Chavis said he remembered my energy. He remembered how I just kept the defense on a positive mind state, even when bad things happened. When St. Aug had good plays against us when we played against Stillman, he was like, man, it was like big plays happened. It's like it didn't happen because of the simple fact it's the way y'all bounce back. And I was just like, Coach, it was just a mindset of the whole defense. It was just like one person said, so what now what? Everybody said, so what now what? So with that being said, what that meaning was for us as a defense, it was like something might happen. So what you gonna do now? If you get knocked down, what you gonna do? You gonna get back up or you gonna stay down? You gonna let a big play happen on you? You gonna let another one happen to you, or you gonna make the next play? So with us, we had took that mind state of big team, little me, with the self-explanatory, and then we also had that so what now what mentality. So that really when he found out more about me and how I made myself not necessarily the captain of the defense, but I was more of one of those guys who just wanted to be a leader, and
Right.
I wasn't going to stand by the side. I wasn't going to stand to the side knowing that I can make a difference and I can motivate people to do things and not say nothing. I was going to take my gift that God gave me and I was going to use it as best as I could. So that's why I feel like he really reached out to me and got me here.
Right. And your first year at St. Augustine, you played in 10 games. You had 57 total tackles, 1 tackle for loss. You had 2 picks, 3 pass breakups,
Yes.
5 pass defenses, 2 fumble recoveries, and 1 block kick. That was an amazing first year as a Falcon.
Yes, sir. With me coming in my first year, I was just thinking like, man, I'm giving my all. I told Coach, and I told him every day, and I made sure that he reminded me of that. Like even when everybody had their ups and their downs, the days. So I told Coach when I first got there, there's gonna be days that I know that you're gonna see me, you're gonna see like that's not you. And I told him like, you see that in me, Coach, say something to me. I need to hear that. Because where I come from, which is Gaston, Alabama, it's a small city, not too big. We have a guy who plays in the NFL, and now his name is Drake Kirkpatrick. But it's more like
I know Drake Kirkpatrick.
when I was growing.
Played for the Bengals, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes, sir. Starting cornerback. He's one of my great friends. I look up to him. He's more like a mentor and an idol to me, even though we played together. It's more like coming up in Gaston. It was more like the village race is like the whole city. It's like if you didn't do right, instead of we calling your parents, we'll handle it. Then we'll call your parents, or we'll call your parents. Then we'll handle it. See, it was more like that. So growing up, I always was taught to not necessarily lean on somebody, but I always have a shoulder for someone to lean on. So
Right.
with me, that's how that was. So I was just like, I'm gonna come get my all, because people gave me their all. So it's like I feel like I'm not. I feel like I'm depriving the game and not giving my all. So in any way that I can make a difference, even if I wasn't playing, even on the bench, I would be coaching. I'm not necessarily coaching. I'd be throwing out little tips. Watch this, watch that out there.
Keeping your
So
teammates
with me,
engaged.
yes, sir. I was always, even though I probably wasn't in the game, I was always in the game.
Kels?
And making plays, that was just something that I kind of get like a adrenaline, man. When it's just something about when you make a tackle, block a kick, get an interception, knock down a pass. It's just it's a certain joy that I get that comes over me, and I just be so ready to do it again.
Okay, so we see where you are as far as to how you got to the CIAA and how you had the different transitions and the different things. So let me take a different route, because there are so many different ways as an athlete you can go into different directions when it comes to playing sports, mainly football. You could have chose a PWI. You could have went in many different directions. First question is, how important do you think it is for athletes to choose HBCUs, and how important do you think, or how often do you think it's? I'll let you answer that question first, and then I'll come back to the second question.
Woo! Oh, that's a great question. Me personally, I feel as though the importance of a HBCU is deep to the point where it's not trying to take anything away from all the other schools, but I feel like going to HBCU, it prepares you for life in a different way that a class cannot show you. Like as far as just day-to-day experiences, in life itself, living on campus, living off campus, making meals. So it's more like, because in the I'm not necessarily saying PWIs that they have it better, but from what I've been through and what I've known and what I've seen, I would say that they have a little better. They have a little better than HBCUs. And with that being said, you go to HBCU and you come out of there, it's something about saying you went to HBCU and you having on that that black excellence shirt. It's a to people who went to HBCUs and graduated, and they see somebody young with a HBCU shirt on, and see that with their alumni, with their alum shirt on, and the school that they went to. It's a different type of level of respect that you get from those type of people, because they've been through it, and they see that you went through it, and they know what kind of person you are, and they know, like, it's a different type of strength, and it's more like a mental strength. If you can understand where I'm coming from with that, it's more like me personally. I feel like if I could do it all again, I'd do it the same way I did. I wouldn't change anything, because I feel like HBCUs have made me the person I am today, which is appreciate all the things in life. Not saying that PWIs or all the other schools don't, but I know from personal experience that an HBCU can definitely teach you the values of life. Definitely.
Absolutely. So now we talked about you playing football. The second thing, have you played any other sport during your time at St. Augustine?
No, not at St. Augustine, but when I was at Stillman, I did play basketball. I was definitely on the basketball team. But when I came to St. Aug, I just wanted to focus solely on football and try to get my career as far as I could with football, because of the simple fact, kind of hard for me being 5'9", 5'10", trying to get into the ABA. So I kind of just felt like, you know what, I'm gonna stick it out in this football thing, and I feel like I got a good chance, because of the simple fact of my heart, my IQ of the game alone is like it's very high for me. And with that being said, it was more like I had to let go of basketball when I left from Stillman. So all I did, was play football.
Okay. So now, because we're getting close to the end of this interview, I have another question. So we know what you did with football. We know where you are. Tell us about life after football. If you never were to play again, what is your aspiration? What is your dream to do after football?
My dreams, my aspirations for after football. Me, I want to be a coach. I definitely want to be a coach and a teacher and a mentor to kids younger than, like, kids coming up, just to show them my definition of Black Lives Matter. And when I say my definition of Black Lives Matter, I mean as far as showing kids that just because you play sports doesn't mean that you have to necessarily go to the league. It can help you get to college where you can get your schooling paid for, where you can come back and give back to your community. So with me, I just want to be able to be one of those guys to say, you know what, I did that. I went to college. I came back. You're not saying that you guys have to come back. You guys can just, go branch out and be somebody. That's the whole thing. That's what I want to do. So I want to coach and I want to teach, and then I want to eventually become an athletic director. And I just want to sit back and just watch kids go to school.
I have that same aspiration. I want to be AD too.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So, what are you doing now? What kind of work are you doing now? Are you still training to try to play football? Or
yes, I'm training. I definitely am. I'm training with a guy named Samuel Boyd. He played receiver for St. Aug. He's a great receiver, one of the top receivers I've ever played against in my life. On my team or against, one of the best guys I ever came up against. So I work out with him, and then I have 2 jobs. So it's kind of, I don't work out like I should, but I'm definitely working on that, because I'm currently working 2 jobs, just trying to make sure that I keep a roof over my head, So
right.
I'm working. I work with this moving company, so I kind of consider that like a workout.
Weightlifter.
So I drive moving trucks. I also move people, and then I work with a company called All My Sons out of Raleigh. And I also work with the airport out there, the Raleigh-Durham Airport. I work the ramps. I work the ramps with the JetBlue airline. I work with Charter Express.
Well, the good thing is there are 2 new professional football leagues starting play within the next year or 2 years. And, you have the Canadian Football League and you have the Arena League. So you just make sure you keep in shape. And if it's still your dream to play professional football, look at God creating more avenues for you to reach your dream by adding more professional football leagues for you to play.
Yes, sir. And then another thing is I'm also out here. I'm looking for an agent. So if anybody's listening, and they know any agents that can help me, please reach out to me. Please.
All right. Well, you hear he needs an agent. So agents, if you're looking for a talented HBCU athlete, someone who has high energy, he works hard, Denzel Malone-Huff is your guy. So to all you sports agents who listen to Black College Experience, hit him up on Twitter. Let them know how they get in touch with you.
Man, you can reach me. You can reach me on social media. You can reach me at Instagram. My Instagram name is Quattro QUATTRO _ Loco LOCO, and that name came from my high energy and my number, which is 4. The 4, which is the Quattro. Then the Loco is just how crazy my ambition and how I just love the game of football. So you can reach me on Instagram by that Quattro _ Loco. And then you can also reach me on Facebook. First name Denzel, that's DNZL, middle initial J, and then last name Malone-Huff. And you'll see me on there kissing that Riley Classic trophy when St. Aug went down there to Durham and took that trophy from Shaw. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Well, Denzel,
Yes,
we
sir.
want to thank you for calling in and telling us your story. Now, the good thing is you're a Black College Experience family now. And you don't
Yes,
need
sir.
an invite to come on and talk football or talk HBCU sports with us. If during the time, Sunday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you want to call in and listen to what we're talking about, or if you want to give us your opinion, because, hey, you're an expert. You played the game at a high level at St. Aug, so
Thank you.
your analysis and input will be greatly welcome. So anytime you want to call and talk football with us, man, feel free.
Oh, yeah. Appreciate that, Mr. Derek. I definitely appreciate that.
Most definitely, and we're gonna hope that you reach your goals, man. Just keep working hard. You're gonna get everything that you want and deserve, man. Thank you so much for giving us your time tonight.
Oh, no, thank you. The pleasure is all mine. If you don't mind, if I can give a shout out to Gaston, Alabama, St. Aug, Stillman College, all you guys, and I appreciate y'all. Y'all helped make me into the guy I am today, and I definitely appreciate that.
All right, thank you. All right, Denzel.
Thank you.
All right.
Yes,
Good night,
sir.
Denzel.
See you later, Miss Keisha. Appreciate you.
Good night.
Man, Keisha, outstanding young man. I sure hope that when these other professional leagues start, that one of those teams gives him a shot. I hope an agent, someone lets him hear this, and an agent contacts him.
You have some of these kids that, or I should say guys rather. You have some of these guys that they go under the radar, and they have so much ambition, so much drive, so much talent that isn't recognized. And when you get kids like that, you're just like, you want somebody to see them, you want somebody to recognize them, you want somebody to pick them up. And he's one of those guys. You definitely want someone to recognize the talent, because it's like the drive is there. He's one of those guys, like, he's very passionate about what he does. So, and you could hear it in his interview how passionate he is. So, yeah, I agree with you. Hopefully someone will pick him up and give him a tryout.
Right. So are we ready to talk about our picks from week 3?
Absolutely.
All right. We're just going to run through the records. You can see what games we picked on our Facebook page. I'm happy this week because I'm not last. I'm not first, but I'm not last. Kels, me, you, and BJ, and Jim Murray, we all tied at 8-2. My frat brother from OBN Radio, Dr. Michael Prince, went 5-5. We had 4 individuals go 9-1. PP, you, Carlos, Manny, and Mo all went 9-1. So that means the tiebreaker determined who will be our champion this week. And LB, I'm proud to say you are the champion. You predicted the score would be 35-21. That's a difference of 5 total points. No one else got within 10. Carlos was at 12 points. Manny at 16, and Mo was at 12. So at 9-1 and winning the tiebreaker, you are the Black College Experience Week 3 champ, Frat. How does that feel?
Jackson State beat that.
What's that?
Man. Yes, I'm mad that FAMU messed up my pick because man.
If you would have picked FAMU, you would have been the outright champ, Frat.
Yeah.
But you didn't. I picked Jackson State to win, by the way, so that kept me tied with Keisha. Because, Keisha, you've been kicking butt the last couple of weeks, I'm just glad to finally get above 500. You know what I'm saying? So
it was pretty shaky. It was pretty shaky, but oof.
All right, but before we get out of
I
here,
don't think.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. I didn't expect that if y'all saw the way that the mismanagement with the FAMU and the Jackson State, that was horrible.
What happened?
Man.
The mismanagement with the clock with
Yeah,
FAMU.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's how they lost. The mismanagement of the clock. It was horrible. They couldn't get it off.
But it was their home game, right?
Yeah.
Yep. And I kept watching it. He was waiting for them to snap. Nothing. And by the time he thought, he was like, time is over. It was the worst clock mismanagement ever. But by the time they got it together, the game was over. Was over.
All right, so now our week 4 games.
Okay.
Our week 4 games to pick for this week. Starting off in the SWAC. Your alma mater, Alabama A&M, will play in the inaugural Gulf Coast Classic in Mobile. Kels, do I even have to ask you?
You don't. I had to ask my mom, y'all. For people that don't know, I graduated from Southern. My twin sister graduated from A&M. So my mother didn't know what to say. So I'm going to answer for my mother. I'm going to take Southern this week in this game.
Okay. PP, do you think Bama A&M is going to be able to compete with Southern in this game?
Yeah, I like their quarterback, but I don't think they have, their defense is kind of underrated, but I think Southern, I think they figured it out in the Langston game, and I think they're going to continue and win against A&M.
Yes, indeed. I think it's going to be a sweep as well. Up next, Alabama State versus Grambling. That game will be seen on ESPN3. Kels?
I'm definitely going to take Grambling in this game.
PP?
I'm going to pick the upset. I'm going to go with Alabama State.
All right. You know what? Grambling has let me down. They have let me down. But I'm picking the Tigers to get me up. So I'm going to roll with the Tigers of Grambling State. The MEAC, and this is a classic game. Bethune-Cookman versus Howard. I had it over here. What the name of this classic game was. Let me pull it up. But Bethune-Cookman versus Howard, Kels. Who you got?
Howard. I'm taking Howard in this game. Can't really go against Taylor Newton.
Okay. PP?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Howard. They got too much offense for Bethune.
All right, and it's going to be a sweep. And this game is called, scroll down. This is the 35th Circle City Classic in Indianapolis, Indiana, played in Lucas Oil Stadium. All right, that's going to be a sweep. So we got Norfolk State and South Carolina State.
I'm taking Norfolk State.
PP, you going to play some buddy ball?
Yeah, I'm going to go with buddy ball.
Okay, I'm going to roll with Norfolk State. All right, we got Savannah State versus FAMU. I'm gonna tweet this to Shannon Sharp. Maybe he'll pick this game for us. Kels, who you got? FAMU or Savannah State?
I'm definitely taking FAMU this week. Simmons seeing that clock mismanagement. They'll definitely get it together. I've watched Savannah State. Yeah, have some work to do. So definitely Florida and them this week.
All right, PP.
Now, I'm scared of FAMU after the way they ended that game, but
You gonna
I'm
pick
gonna give them
Savannah
one more
State?
time. No, I'm gonna give FAMU one more chance.
And we're gonna
One
sweep
more
it up. I'm gonna roll with FAMU also. In the SAIC, Missouri S&T versus Tuskegee.
All right, Missouri.
PP.
I'm gonna go with Tuskegee.
Oh boy, I'm gonna roll with Kels. I'm gonna pick Missouri. PP, you rolling with Tuskegee. All right, Central versus Kentucky State.
I like the thoroughbreds in this game, so definitely the thoroughbreds. I'm going to take Kentucky State.
PP.
I'm gonna go with Central.
Man, Central let me down this past week. They let me down. Well, I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna roll with Central again. I'm thinking they're gonna have a much better performance. Albany State versus Lane.
Okay, so Jordana, he's definitely going to redeem himself. I've saw both plays, so I'm definitely going to take Albany State this week.
Okay. PP.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Albany State.
And I'm going to sweep it up. Albany State as well. All right. This is the Chicago Football Classic between Morehouse and Miles. Kels.
Meet them in Chicago. Right now, they're rolling fast, hard, and smart. So let me keep rolling with Morehouse, fast, hard, and smart, going for 4-0.
PP.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Morehouse as well.
All right, and we're going to sweep that up. In the CIAA, we got the West End Classic, Livingstone versus Lincoln. Kels.
You said Lincoln versus Livingstone?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'll take Lincoln.
PP.
I'll go with Livingstone.
I'm going to roll with them too. All right. In the Winston-Salem Classic, Virginia Union versus Winston-Salem State.
I'm going to take Winston-Salem State.
All right. PP.
I'll go with Virginia Union.
All right. Now we have our independent non-HBCU conferences.
Hey, did you give your prediction for that game?
I went to Salem State.
Oh, okay.
All right. We're going to go with Cumberland versus Edward Waters, who got their first win last week under Coach Ruffin.
It's Edward Waters against who?
Cumberland.
I'll take Cumberland.
Yeah, Cumberland.
We're gonna sweep it up, and just for all y'all know, Coach Ruffin is gonna be a guest on Black College Experience next week also. So hopefully, hopefully we pick wrong, because I would love for him to win this game, stay undefeated. Hampton versus UNI, University of North Iowa.
Northern Iowa, yeah.
Kels.
Yep, I'm taking UNI.
All right. And the last game, Langston versus Sagu.
Versus who?
Langston versus SAGU.
Yeah, I don't even know who that is. I'll take Langston. I don't even know who that is.
That is, I have them pull up here. Come on. Pull up. They're a team out of Texas.
Okay, then let me.
It just says Sagu. It doesn't tell me what it means, but I'm guessing we're all gonna take Langston in this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So that is our show for this evening. Okay, let's go ahead and wrap us up.
All right, so this is the end of another wonderful week. I will be live in Mobile at the Gulf Coast Challenge. I will get to Mobile on Friday morning, and then I will be hustling from Friday until Sunday. They have already told me that I am going to be hustling from Friday to Sunday. the people still need tickets. It's going to be on all social media outlets where you can actually find these tickets. By Friday, please don't look for me because you really won't be able to get in contact with me. That's a given. It's going to be busy, but I guess I'm very proud to say that we're an actual media partner for the Gulf Coast Challenge. So, again, I am rooting for my team to come off with the win. Alabama A&M is the secondary team for me, of course, because that is home. So I will see y'all when I get back from Mobile next week.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Peace out.